India has been known with a lot of names throughout history. Among those, one of the oldest names of the country is Bharat. The origin of this name is often attributed to the legendary King Bharat, after whom his tribe, the Bharatas, were also named. Bharatas were one of the many Vedic tribes mentioned in Rigveda, who eventually formed the Kuru Empire. One of the most influential kings of the Bharatas was Sudas, who belonged to the Tritsu branch of the tribe. He was one of the belligerent in the epical war, the War of the Ten Kings. The War of Ten Kings is one of, if not the oldest recorded war in history, and finds a mention in Book 7 of the Rigveda. The war is also known as Dasrajnya, meaning something related to 10 kings. But with ancient literature, numbers like 10, 100 or 1000 usually denote the multitude of the entities rather than the exact number. Similarly, Dasrajnya means the war of nearly 10 kings. As per the Rigveda, King Sudas was being supported by the revered sage Vasishtha. On the other side were a confederation of Puru, Yadu, Turvasa, Anu, Druhu, Alina, Pukta, Balanas Vasanan, Siva, Vikarna, Matsya, Simyu, Beta, Aja, Sigru, Yakshu, Brigu, and Kavasa tribes. King Sudas performed the Ashwamedha Yagya under Vishwamitra's advice, which made the other tribes envious of him. Soon after this, due to some event at the court, Sudas ousted Vishwamitra from his court and appointed Vasishtha as the royal sage. Due to this event, some scholars opine that Vishwamitra was part of or at least supporting the confederacy against Sudas, but nowhere has it been mentioned explicitly. The growing restlessness and envy among the neighboring tribes, due to Sudas' growing influence, culminated in all these tribes uniting forces against Sudas to end his supremacy in the region. Hence, the intertribal rivalry and Vishwamitra's apparent need to avenge his removal from Sudas' court are usually considered the prime reasons for the war. The war was long and brutal. One of the most important and decisive battles of this was fought on the banks of river Parusni, now known as Ravi. The Confederate army cornered Sudas on the bank of Parusni. Sudas, sensing that there isn't any other way, with the help of Seer Vasishtha and the blessings of Lord Indra, crossed the river with his army. Rigveda mentions that some soldiers from the allied army tried to cross the river after Sudas, but drowned because of the flooding of Parusni by strategic breaching of a dike on the river by Sudas. Some of them tried to lower the flow of the river by dividing the mainstream of the river into multiple channels, but failed miserably. Hymns mention that the flow of Parusni hit the enemies of Sudas like Indra's wrath. Most of them were washed away by the river, and those who managed to cross the river were killed by Sudas and his army, and some fled, leaving their possessions to the victors. Sudas and his tribe then moved eastward and fought another battle with some local chieftain called Beta. The aftermath of the war mentions the victory of Sudas and the subjugation of the rival tribes. Rigveda mentions Puktas, Balanas, Alinas, Vasanans and Sivas singing praises of Indra, and Ajas, Sigras and Yuksas, bringing tributes to him after the war. The Puktas moved westwards and are identified as the modern-day people group of Pukhtuns or Pashtuns from Pukhtunistan in western Pakistan and Afghanistan. The Bharatas became the most prominent tribe in the land of the Aryas. Later, the Bharat and the Puru lineages merged to form the Kuru tribe, politically the most influential dynasty during the Mahabharata era, who described themselves as sons of Bharatas and Puru.